Today we're diving into a really powerful idea, one that sits right at the intersection of your mind and your body. It's a concept that suggests you have way more influence over your own biology than you might think. We're going to explore the coherent nexus, and this idea that you can literally learn to rewrite your own biology.
So let's just get right to the heart of it with the big question. Can your feelings, your moods, your emotions, your inner state actually, physically rewrite your biology? I know, it sounds a little bit like science fiction, but the answer is so much more fascinating than you can imagine.
To even begin to understand how this is possible, we've got to start with a new kind of harmony, a concept that's really the foundation for everything else we're about to get into.
Okay, so it all starts with this one word, coherence. Now, this isn't just about, feeling good or being happy. It's a very specific biological state. Think of it as your heart, your mind, and your emotions all working together, perfectly in sync. They're creating this powerful, orderly signal that flows all throughout your body.
And this has real-world effects. It's not just some internal feeling. When we can actually create this state of coherence, when our internal world is orderly and harmonious, it doesn't just stay inside us. It fundamentally changes how we show up and interact with the world, leading to way more positive experiences and outcomes.
So how in the world does an internal feeling create an external reality? Well, the connection is found in the secret life of our genes. And this is where we jump from the conceptual right down to the cellular level.
All right, most of us know about genetics, right? It's our permanent DNA, the biological blueprint we get from our parents. But there's another layer on top of that called epigenetics. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. If your genetics are the permanent blueprint for a house, then epigenetics are all the notes, the highlights, the instructions written on that blueprint, telling the builders which parts to focus on and which parts to ignore.
Now, this is super important. We're not talking about changing the blueprint itself. Your DNA code stays the same. What epigenetics shows us is that our experiences, our environment, and, our feelings can change the way our genes work. They're like light switches, turning certain genes on and others off, all without ever altering the fundamental code. Okay, so we have these two big ideas, this inner harmony, coherence, and the flexible nature of our genes, epigenetics. So how do they actually connect? Let's trace the path from your mind all the way down to its impact on your cells.
See, every single thought and feeling you have isn't just happening up there in your head. Your inner state, whether it's stressed and chaotic or calm and coherent, creates a very real, tangible field of electrical and chemical signals that gets sent out to every single cell in your body. It's a constant broadcast.
And here's how that chain reaction works, step by step. First, you actively achieve a state of inner coherence. Second, that coherent state broadcasts these clear, harmonious signals throughout your body's entire communication network. And finally, those positive signals arrive at your cells and act like instructions, activating the genes that are associated with really positive outcomes. And what kind of genes are we talking about flipping on? We're talking about the good stuff. Research points to genes that directly boost your overall well-being, genes that make you more resilient to stress, and even genes that help speed up recovery and healing. You are literally signaling your body to thrive.
Now, if you think this story is just about you and your choices and your life, get ready for a pretty big twist, because we also have to talk about the echoes of the past.
It turns out, these epigenetic markers, these notes on our blueprint, they aren't always written by us. We can actually inherit them. This means, in a very real sense, we are literally working with the software of our ancestors. There is a scientific term for this, and it's called transgenerational trauma. It's the idea that the emotional and mental patterns from one generation, often from a really stressful or traumatic event, can be passed down to the next through these very same epigenetic changes we've been talking about. And that echo can travel a long way. I mean, just imagine this for a second. A great-grandparent has some major life experience, and it creates an epigenetic marker. That marker is passed down to your grandparent, which influences the patterns passed to your parent. And then finally, that software becomes part of your initial operating system when you're born.
Okay, I know that might sound a little bleak, maybe like we're just trapped by the past. But this final section is all about taking back control. It's about how you can start rewriting your genetic story. Which brings us to this absolutely critical question. Are you just stuck? Are you destined to just run this old inherited software for the rest of your life? And the answer, thankfully, is a definitive, powerful, resounding no. You are not just the program. You can become the programmer.
So how do you do it? How do you step into that role? Well, the path involves 4 key steps. It all starts with becoming aware of those hidden, inherited patterns. Then, you have to do the work to intentionally transform them. And that active transformation can actually change your epigenetic expression. You're writing new notes on the blueprint. And the result? You create a brand new coherent field for yourself.
And what's so incredible is that this isn't just about you. By doing this inner work, by rewriting your own epigenetic story, your personal transformation can literally stop that echo in its tracks. You can create a new, healthier, more coherent legacy for all the generations that come after you.
So we'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. The science of epigenetics is basically telling us we have a pen in our hand. So if you could write one new instruction for all of your cells, one new piece of code to guide your biology from this moment forward, what would it be?